Friends, welcome in. So, what comes to mind when I share the word abundant with you? Because today the episode is all about tapping into abundance, what that is, and what oil we're going to highlight that fits perfectly together. So, stay tuned. You're listening to the Essential Oils Scoop podcast. We're here to help you confidently using essential oils in your daily life. No fluff, just real talk and practical tips. Each episode brings you education, inspiration, and of course, our scoop of the day. Let's elevate your wellness one drop at a time. Sarah, we didn't do this on purpose, but when I said perfectly together, it really is in perfect timing. This blend that we're going to highlight today, and it is a blend because there's a lot of other oils that we could put in this category of abundant. But guess what, friends? We've already set you up for success because we've highlighted a good chunk of them. And in our notes section, we will link the appropriate episodes so you can just binge all about abundance.
Yeah. Because when we were going through it, I was like, oh, we got an episode on that one. We got an episode on that one. Like
Uh-huh.
we have done, um, and I think that goes to show like where we're at mentality wise. Like we ourselves are seeking out having more abundance. And I don't mean like abundance of things, but just the abundance mindset of
Hmm.
life and like getting out of that scarcity mode, getting out of like some of these things that kind of keep us stuck. And I
Hmm.
think abundant, feeling an abundance of gratitude, feeling like you have everything you need, I
Hmm.
think helps to shift. It shifts your brain, it shifts your mindset a little bit. So I love that we're talking about this. I love it.
Yeah, it's in perfect timing. So, in good fashion, if you are at home or not driving, get out your Essential Emotions book and follow along and share with us because guess what? You have access to some of the questions, the look deeper questions that we're going to share with you today. And we're sharing them not just to talk to you, but to invite you into doing the work. And this is, in our opinion, step one. After you realize that you want to tap into abundance, these are some of the questions that you can ask. So, Sarah, which question? I mean, they're all great, but which question do you want to read first?
I think I'm just going to start with the very first one. Do I believe I am worthy and capable of receiving more of what I desire?
I like the word more, and I like how you emphasize that.
Because
I'm going to
sometimes
be
when you're
honest
saying,
with you, I haven't always felt that way.
"Mm-mm, no. And I was telling Vicky during our break about a notebook that I've had for several years that I keep going back to write different things in through different conferences that I've been to. And I was going through this just the other day. But what in one of the papers that I had shoved in the way back, it was like an extra folded paper. It had a list of things that I wanted, like almost like a not a vision board. I don't want to say vision board, but just like a list of like things I was probably going to put on my vision board. And I started going through this list, Vicky, and I have it all. And this was from 2019.
Oh, that's amazing.
I
See?
have it
Oh,
all
there's proof.
down to the Dyson vacuum cleaner, right? Like how like no joke. No joke. Like wrote out this list probably 2019, maybe to that late 2018, like just knowing where this notebook when I like was writing in this notebook the first time and thinking about what I was why I put this in there that particular loose piece of paper in the back of this notebook. But I was like, oh, that's so interesting because I'll tell you, my life at the time, we had just moved to Florida at that point. Okay, when
Okay.
I'm writing this, and so I'm looking at all the different things that have come to fruition of moving to Florida or maybe even and I'm not quite sure because again I don't have the date. The date's not written on this piece of paper, but it could have been just before we moved to Florida. So it's right about that time of either just moving there, but I think from the things that I wrote, it was just before we moved to Florida. And down to things that I had in that house, down to like my backyard, what it looked like. I mean, all of these things were on this list and it all had come. Every single one of it had come except for one thing. And that's okay. That's a future thing anyway. But like, it was really interesting. But it comes back to this idea
Mhm.
of, am I worthy and capable of receiving more of what I desire?
Which the answer is absolutely yes.
Hmm.
It's already happening for you.
Hmm.
It's already and again, that's tapping into abundance, abundant, right? I love the second question. Am I allowing scarcity, unworthiness, or fear of failure to limit the flow of abundance in my life? I have. Sometimes I find myself dipping there and I quickly take myself out.
I
Apps.
think I think for me, fear of failures is like huge, huge of what I hold myself back for.
Mhm. Mine, out of that sentence, out of that look deeper question, it's the unworthiness. Some very deep-seated from childhood situations that I know are not my truth now after a lot of work, right? Because we're human. But I love that in the Essential Emotions book, Sarah, I love that these are promptings for us to look deeper. This is a
Hmm.
guide. And I think those that are brand new to essential oils or essential oils in the context of mindset work and emotional work, these are very powerful tools. So you're not trying to look and figure out what questions to ask. They're there right in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah, I love these questions. This is why I always love to start off when we're talking about emotions. I love to start off with these questions because I feel
Mhm.
like they really pull out a lot of the root of what's going on with us. So the
Mhm.
next question is, what will it take for me to believe there is more than enough for me and that giving more will bring more to me? So I highlighted more, right? What is this? What is this in here? I'm going to read this all over again. I want you to listen to how many mores there are, and I want you to just kind of focus in on what this means. What will it take for me to believe there is more than enough for me and that giving more will bring more to me?
Mhm.
Think about giving more. Think about what that means. Giving more of your time, that means you'll get more time. Giving more of your your substance, your resources will give you more.
Mhm.
We get into this like scarcity mindset or we hold on so tight to what we already have. We don't want to let it go that it stops the flow. Think about a hose. Think about a hose. We want to if we're trying we want to hold on to that water and we're trying to make it so it doesn't go anywhere. We just want to hold on to it. Well, what happens is you start to hold that hose so tight, it's not flowing out anymore. You're
Mhm.
pinching it off before it can
Yeah,
even
it's
flow more
yanked.
to you. So you need to loosen the grip, let go, give more, let go of some of the things you already have so you can gain more. Like I was
Mhm.
thinking about this. This is such a silly example, but I'm going to use it. I was thinking about my couch. An old couch. I have a new couch and I have an old couch. I have both couches. One is in one room, one's in another room. And I was thinking about my old couch and I was like, "Oh gosh, I don't want to give up this couch. Like in preparation, if we move, do I want to get rid of this couch? Do I want to keep this couch? Like back and forth. Like love this couch. It's got great storage. It's got a sleeper sofa that can pull out for guests. Like, but it's stained. It was a white couch. It was not the smartest purchase of white couches. Like, we should never buy a white couch, not when you have kids and pets and other things, right? So it's stained and it looks pretty bad. But I love this couch. So I was thinking about what could I do with this couch? Could I recover it? Can I reupholster it? Can I get new coverings? Like I've been trying to search this all out. And then I was like, but if I just let it go, do I have faith that a better, even better couch will come along? A couch that I will love, if not as much as, but more than this
Mhm.
couch. And so sometimes this is where faith comes into play sometimes for us is do we have the faith that we will receive more if we let go?
Hmm.
And that's a deeper question too. It's not in this book, but it's my own deeper question for you. Do you have the faith that if you do let go, things will still come to you? They'll still flow back into your life.
I really like what you just said. And it reminded me of, again, we're talking about the emotion abundant, tapping into abundance. And it's my belief, my understanding that my passion, my deeply seated passions, because I'm multifaceted here, is more is readily available to me when I am tapped into being abundant and not closed off. When you talked about, the hose and the hose is kinked. When my hose is less kinked and the abundance is flowing, my alignment with my passion or passions is just flowing. And there's so much there and so much abundance and the giving back to and what you give, you receive, like that is a thing and it's a thing for a reason.
Mhm.
It all makes sense to me. And I really hope after we're done here, our listeners walk away with the knowing that this is possible for them too. If they haven't begun or they're in the middle of it, guess what? We are ever evolving. The work is never done. But I promise you, when you put this into practice over and over again, it is so much easier to tap into abundance and
Mhm.
you tend to tap into it quicker. Would you agree, Sarah?
Oh yeah, and like think about nature for a second with that whole idea of abundance. Like, do you think a tree worries about like how it's going to grow?
No.
Do you think um there's this a hymn, right? Consider the lilies, right? Do you think the lilies sit there and worry about how they're going to grow, how they're going to get nourished, how they're going to get sunlight, how they're going No, they just grow. They just do their thing. They don't worry about all the other stuff. They don't worry, are they getting sunlight today? They don't worry about, am I getting the right nutrients? Am I getting enough water? Am I getting like all of these worries? They just produce and they continue to produce. And if you think about like orange trees, for example, right? Oranges, they just produce. They have seeds, they produce. Um, I think of like Escondido, right? Like Vicky and I are from both have lived in Southern California. And there's like these orange groves that are massive, huge orange groves, and it smells divine in this one area. And I think of like that fruit that isn't being used falls off the trees. And what does it do? It gets back down into the ground and it grows new trees. And it doesn't sit there and worry about, does my orange look okay for you today? Am I
Right.
orange enough?
Yeah. Did I get enough sun to,
Like, it doesn't. It's just like, I'm going to let this one go because this one's not going to produce very well. This one's going and it drops down to the ground and then the seeds go into the ground and then it reproduces a tree. But it doesn't sit there and like, am I orange enough? Am I going to feel good about me today? No, it just is like, that one's not good. We're going to slough it off and we're gonna give it back to the earth and the earth is going to produce the next one, right? And
Mhm.
we have these seeds of abundance and we nature is a wonderful wonderful example to us of how the cares, the worries, it doesn't sit there and go, oh, I dropped 3 oranges yesterday, I don't want to drop too many more today. Like it doesn't say that.
Mhm.
Have you ever seen an orange
Mhm.
tree sit there and like, oh, I gave you 3 yesterday. I just don't know if I could give 3 more today. It doesn't think that. It's just like, hey, if
No.
this root is being used and picked and it's going to provide, we're going to give it away, right? And if it's not being picked and it's too heavy for my branches, that tree is going to let it go because it needs to preserve itself of those branches. And it's not going to get too heavy because then it knows it's going to break. So it has to let go of this fruit has to let go.
Well, yeah, because it's not going to hold on to something that's not going to tap them into abundance, right? That's what you're tying it back into, is this tree already knows its abundance.
Mhm.
Let go of what doesn't serve you, release it because it knows its worthiness. And
Mhm.
that's where our oil comes in. Sarah and I have chosen passion essential oil to anchor into today. Yes, we
And
have wild orange. Yes, we have spikenard, okay, which was the previous episode. We've talked about citrus bliss, tangerine, Litsea. We've talked about all of them. And today we get to anchor into passion, which passion essential oil is the essential oil of finding your passion. How fitting. How stinking fitting, right? Can't make this up. Sarah, I passion is a blend, right? It's a doTERRA specific blend of multiple essential oils. It has ginger, jasmine absolute, sandalwood, ylang ylang, wild orange, magnolia, lemon, cardamom, bergamot, damon, I don't know what that is, tonka bean, vanilla, cinnamon with some FCO. The cinnamon is what makes it a little spicy. Like I dilute
Mhm.
with fractionated. I know it's already diluted, it's a touch, but I actually dilute a little bit more or just put on the bottoms of my feet because I'm a little more sensitive to cinnamon essential oil topically.
Mhm.
But I love how passion inspires individuals to take risks, confidently face their fears, and break free from the limitations they place on themselves. The last words they place on themselves. Okay, boo. Like, let's be honest. We place these stupid, and I'm going to call them stupid, limitations. We build that wall, we build that fence, we build around this idea. We have this ideation of, oh, we can't do it. We're not XYZ. We don't have XYZ. And passion inspires us individuals to take those risks, confidently face our fears, and break free from the limitations they place on themselves. Mic drop. Mm-hmm. Sarah, what I see your eyes reading. What do you want to share?
Well, I'm thinking about where it talks about sparks their imagination of their youth. Remember when you were young
Mm,
and you had all these ideas and dreams and all these hopes and of the future, and like somewhere in midlife we like lose it. We forget
mhm.
how to dream. We forget
Yeah.
our passion. We forget what the possibilities of our dreams mean. We forget oh yeah, I can write down like a list of things that I want in my life or what I want to be, do, have, right? Like I can make those lists. And I haven't made one in a while. And like it reminds me that like when you are smelling passion, and I love the full bottle of passion more than the roller.
The
I have the
roller.
roller. The roller's great. No problem with it. But I really love this because I love diffusing it.
Yeah.
And I
Uh-huh.
love diffusing this during times where I want to work on opening myself more opening myself up for finding that passion again, having the possibilities again, those abundant possibilities, right? We're talking about abundance, we're talking about abundantly living in abundance.
Mm,
And you're not going to live in abundance if you're like meh or mediocre, right? If you're just like life's good, it's fine, I'm content. Where's
mhm.
the passion? No, you're not gonna get excited and fired up and find this inner knowing and this inner fire with being meh or mediocre or content. Ugh. Like there's nothing wrong with being grateful and being content with what you have, but there's also contentment can sometimes lead to complacency.
Well, it
And
could
like,
stunt your growth
yeah,
1000%. Uh-huh.
and I mean, absolutely, you need to be grateful for what you have. You need to be happy with what you already have, right? Because if you're sitting there and you're constantly envying or jealous or want what somebody else has, that is not the same thing as living in abundance. That's living in jealousy and envy, and that's creating contention within yourself. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm
Mm-mm.
talking about sometimes we get complacent and get stuck going, well, there's nothing else for me. I've got this job. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything.
Or
And we
the
kind of
I should be grateful for.
Or I want to just sit and like not think anymore. I want to just like go on autopilot in life and I don't want to be excited anymore. Like I just whatever, blah, you know?
Yeah, they should listen to Spikenard. Go back an episode and use Spikenard and then use passion. Just saying.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know.
Excellent. Yeah.
Hmm.
Like, I love that it challenges us to use our creativity again, to use our imagination, to get passionate, to get excited. Don't you want to be excited again? When was the last time you felt excited about something? When was the last time you felt fired up? When was the last time you felt like, man, I've just got all of this potential and this inner excitement is just bubbling out of you? Was the last time you felt that?
Well, I know I can feel a little bit more of that, and I'm excited to use passion a little more this week. But I have to tell you, maybe it was just me. When I first started using doTERRA essential oils, I legit did not make, and this is over 10 years ago, friends, okay? So bear with me. I've done a lot of changing, I've done a lot of evolving, and but I really thought passion essential oil was just for intimacy. Like I
Mhm.
only linked passion, and this is very common actually. It's
Oh,
not,
yeah.
I know I'm not the only one on the island, but the I could only see and hear that passion essential oil was to support intimacy, like couples intimacy, not individual love and fire and abundance. It wasn't until like a couple years in I was I don't want to say schooled, but basically schooled on Vicky. No, dear, you missed the whole point. Like, no, 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 no. Let me take you back. And I was blown away. So if you're like that and this is hitting new, like, oh gosh, is it just me? No, friend. No, but this is the big picture. This is the bigger picture of passion.
Do you know how many people come to me because obviously I talk about intimacy so much and they're like, well, I've tried
Mhm.
using passion. I'm like,
Why?
passion oil for
Would you?
what?
Yes,
It's not
yeah.
even one of my top favorites for that subject. It's just not
Correct.
even there. Like
Uh-huh.
passion, I think of like passion. Okay, so if I was going to give you my oils that I would use with passion or like oils that I would like pair with this, if I was trying to like get out of a funk, maybe I would use this with Blue Tansy, with Green
Green
Mandarin,
Mandarin. Mm-hmm.
like there's so many other oils that I would be pairing. Tangerine, citrus
Hmm.
bliss. Like there's so many other oils that I would pair passion with. Passion is like okay, so it does have some oils in there that you can use for intimacy, but
I
there's too
wouldn't.
much cinnamon for this to be comfortable. So this is
Yeah.
not one of my top favorite oils.
It's not a
I would
bedroom oil, friends. It
uh
really, in my opinion, it's not. There's so many other ones. There's so
no.
many other ones.
This is to light your own fire within.
Yeah. It's your
This is
internal passion, your abundance,
get your
you.
excitement again.
Yeah.
Get passionate. Bring that all up for you. Bring it out into the surface. Get excited again. I mean, really, truly, if you've been kind of on autopilot, I want you to start using this in your diffuser, just plain. You don't even have to mix anything with it. Start using this in your diffuser to start to feel that spark of life again. Like start
Mhm.
to feel excited and happy and feel passion again. Like, and if you're struggling
I-
in the bedroom, you got to find your passion within yourself in order to like get excited in the bedroom.
Perform.
So,
Hmm.
like,
Yeah. You can't pour from an empty cup. You get what we're
start with
saying.
you, friend. Start with
Hmm.
you. Get your passion excited again. Get excited because when you're excited and you feel good, you have endorphins. And guess what?
Hmm.
Endorphins make you happy. And guess
Yeah.
what? That just pours into other parts of your life. So if you're struggling in other parts of your life, it's probably because the passion within you is dead.
Hmm. You know what I've liked pairing with this is ylang ylang. And I know ylang ylang, not everyone's ready for ylang ylang, but when you are, and you know. Like I can't express it any more than that. We have an episode on ylang ylang, I believe, right, Sarah? Yeah. So tap into that if you're curious. But the inner child work and finding your passion, they align very well together. They work very harmoniously. Diffusing passion and applying ylang ylang topically is, and even diffusing a 1-to-1 ratio. And I do a light pour Are you a light pour on passion in your diffuser? I do
Mm,
two instead of like four drops. I'm usually like 4 to 5, and I'll do two of passion. Are you still a
yeah,
heavy pourer?
I'm a heavy pourer on this one. Like I love passion in my I like I said, if I'm working on vision board, if I'm working on goals for the future, if I'm working
Hmm.
on any kind of things like that, passion is in my diffuser. Um, I would say 4 drops of passion with 4 drops of green mandarin is
Hmm.
usually my go-to with 3 drops of blue tansy of like a
Oh, that's a really good one.
oh, it's fantastic.
Adding the
It's fantastic.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so in the book, in the emotions book, again, get yourself the book. We love you. Passion urges individuals to break free from the confines of burden and obligation and rediscover spontaneity and hope. It reminds them that life is not just about fulfilling responsibilities, but also about daring to dream and believe in the abundance that life offers. And man, do we live in a society where it is full of responsibility, multiple responsibilities. And I know this hits home for the workforce of America, those that are hitting the pavement, that have the work, responsibilities and the home life responsibilities and all of it, right? All the feathers in your hat. Whew, it can get heavy and it can be draining, right? You don't want to feel empty. You don't want to feel unmotivated. You don't want to feel overburdened. So, passion, y'all, is your friend. Tap into feeling more energized, spontaneous, empowered, creative. I love how this offers a gateway and a clearer path for you to go down.
Such a great oil. I
Yeah,
like
Sarah's shaking her head like, yeah, huh?
I love this. I just love that it brings back some of that spark that we lose over time. Over, maybe you got beat down by life, maybe you've forgotten some things, but like reminds us that we could take risks,
Mhm.
that we're not like, I don't know, stuck or like tied to any one outcome of life. Like re-examine your goals, re-examine the things that you're looking at. Like I can't remember the quote or where I've heard of it. Basically, the idea is like stay with always like look at your goals and stick with the goal, but there's probably 25 different ways of getting to that same goal. And
Mhm.
are you willing to pivot when certain ways don't change the goal, change how you
Mhm.
approach it, like
Mhm.
maybe you've lost your passion for that goal because you're like, it's so unobtainable. I can't even see it anymore. And like, use this to break free from those limitations that you've placed on yourself, that you've placed on this dream or this goal of like, I can't do it. Because when you start to tell your subconscious you can't do it, guess what? It believes you.
Yep, and it's going to find proof to back up what you're saying. Our words are powerful. Our words are so powerful over ourselves.
Extremely powerful. I mean, if I
Yeah.
was going to like coach somebody on this, the one thing I would ask them to do is ask themselves the question, why am I so abundant? And that's going to feel weird because they're like, I don't feel abundant. Right. But why are you so abundant?
Mhm.
And if
And
you
start giving your brain proof. Hmm.
your brain is going to start telling you why you're so abundant, why you're living in abundance. Why am I living in abundance? Well, you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this. And as you start to make that list of how do I live in abundance better, your brain's going to say, well, you live in abundance better by doing this and this and this. And your brain's going to give you that. But if you sit
That
there and say,
proof.
I can't do this, your brain's going to be like, you're right, you can't. You suck. You're a loser. You did this, this, and this wrong. But if you're
Hmm.
like, how can I make this work? How can I do this better? How can I live more an abundant life? How can I live in abundance? You start asking your brain that, it starts giving you all of your answers. So when you're looking at your passion, like, and you're working through this feeling of abundant, feeling more abundant, and that's what you're looking for, put your diffuser on, put your passion on, or use the roller bottle and put it all over you. Like I said, I'm a diffuser girl. Y'all know I diffuse everything, right? Like, love my diffusers. But start diffusing this, start asking yourselves those deeper questions. And like, if you want even more, start asking yourself, how can I live in abundance even more? Why am I
Mhm.
so abundant? How come I'm so abundant in this life? And your brain will start to give you proof of how you're abundant. And it's also
Yeah.
going to give you proof of what you can do better and how you can do better. But don't skip over the process of asking yourself questions and sitting with yourself for a little bit.
Hmm.
That's how the real work works. Is when you are willing to ask yourself these questions, when you're willing to say, you know what? I'm tired of living the way I've been living. I want a change. When you're to that point, then you're ready. You're ready
Well,
for whatever comes next.
well, that's why there's a multi-billion dollar space for the coaching industry. That's why people pay coaches, is to walk them through the work, help them see the answers that are already there. A good coach will do that for you.
Mhm.
The aligned coach for you is going to help you do that. Are they going to do the work for you? No. A coach is never going to do the work for you, but guide you down the road of least resistance for you to see and feel the difference. You know, when Sarah was talking about, well, just like it was 10 minutes ago, just now, when Sarah's giving you those ideas, it's like the red car analogy. You know, you see a red truck on the road, and then your brain starts seeing more red trucks and more red trucks and more red trucks. It's your brain is giving you proof over
Yeah,
and over and over again. That's what you're doing when you're doing those practices Sarah just spoke about.
because you're activating your reticular activation
Yep.
system. And so
Mm-hmm.
when you do that, you're going to see it more. And a good coach will never give you advice. A good coach will help you to know what you need to do within inside of yourself and never gives you advice. Bad coaches give you advice. Bad coaches tell you what to do. Good coaches help you to see what's already within you. So when you're looking for coaching people, if a coach starts to give you advice, shut down the session and say, no, thank you. Because a great coach helps you to look within yourself, helps you to ask these questions, helps you to find your path. And like in that coaching space, that's what you need, not somebody who gives you advice. You can go to Dear Abby for that.
You can go to Dear Abby. Oh, you can tell we're passionate and love what we do and love the clients we work with. But friends, to wrap this up in a beautiful bow because we've been here a little longer than normal, passion essential oil is just one of the beautiful oils that you can lean into for more abundance, to get some clarification on it, to help you go deeper. If you have the book, follow through with those look deeper questions. If not, rewind and write them down. We've spent some really good time here today. I love this blend, and I actually look forward to diffusing it more often in the certain spaces of my day where I'm like, okay, I get to have support and tapping into more abundance. Like I'm already going there, and I hope you do too. Sarah, what's your scoop of the day?
So I already gave you a diffuser blend earlier. We'll put that in the show notes with the uh, passion and the I can't blue tansy and green mandarin. I was like, what did I even tell you guys? Yeah, the blue tansy, green mandarin, and the passion. Do that. Put that in your diffuser. But I really actually want you to start working on these questions, those look deeper questions. I want you to start looking at those. I want you to ask yourself, how can I be more abundant? How can I live more in abundance? Why am I so abundant? I want you to start getting into those deeper questions with yourself, start journaling them out. And then when you say things like the declaration statement that they give you in the book, I now allow abundance to flow to me in unexpected and surprising ways. You're gonna start to see it. You're gonna start to see the evidence as you work through these things. And I'm excited. I want to know how you're feeling after you work on some of these things. So let us know. Email us. Put comments on YouTube, comments on Podbean. We'll answer your comments. Let us hear from you. I want to know how your work is going.
Love it, friend. My scoop of the day is to take action on exactly what Sarah said. I don't need to add anything else to it. That is beautiful. We believe in you. Do the freaking work. We love you so much, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for tuning in, and we hope you enjoyed today's episode and are feeling inspired to dive in even deeper into the world of essential oils. Want exclusive offers, content, and recipes? Click on the newsletter link in the show notes today. Looking for even more wellness inspiration? Dive into our previous episodes and stay in the loop by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at the Essential Oil Scoop Podcast. Thanks for being a part of our essential oil family. And remember, hit the subscribe button to be notified every time we upload a brand new episode.